This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. It's Tuesday. It's July 12th. It's the 42nd anniversary of the night my wife and I had our first date.
Happy anniversary.
I don't know if that really counts. It counts for me. I guess it counts for Kath because I just beat it to death every year.
Now it counts for her.
Why? Because she turned me down the first time.
Well, you had to keep going. Perseverance. You know what?
I didn't. I gave up. She phoned me back.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I thought you asked her it again.
See, no. I like that imagery, and people think that's remarkable that I did that, so I don't dissuade them of that opinion. But that's not how it happened at all.
She rethunk it
and
was
decided. A pity date.
And look where you are now. Yeah.
Roller skating, ice cream in Windsor on Dougal Road, Calliope's Ice Cream.
That sounds like a great first date.
And mini golf.
Do you want to know what my first date was with my husband?
Yes, I do.
His sister's wedding.
Wow.
That was our first date, and I was in the family photos.
No!
Yeah.
No!
It was.
That breaks like a lot of customs.
Yeah. And I tried not to because they're getting them done. They're doing the photos and he's waving me over. And I was no, I'm not. They're like, no, come on over. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, now the pressure's on. Now this has to go well because I am in your sister's wedding pictures. So good job.
New rule. If mother of the bride can't name you, you can't be in wedding photos.
She can name me.
She knew your name at that point?
Yeah.
All right, well, then you're in.
I knew the family.
All right, you're in then.
But still.
Well, if I forgot you're from Campbell,
exactly.
We all know each other.
We knew the family. But yeah. Yep.
Wow.
See, your first date is much more a first date.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Our first date was, we might as well have been walking down the aisle.
Yeah. And then I recall this very clearly. Is this podcast being heard by anybody? Okay. That my wife made it quite clear. She was not my wife at the time. She made it quite clear that this was not an exclusive relationship. Because I think she was like 18.
She made it clear
19.
this was a pity date. That this was, I'm just doing this.
We're gonna we're gonna go see other people, right? And I'm like, I'm totally okay with it. I'm just thrilled you want to spend time with me. Like what do I think I was 17. What do I know? Sure, this is awesome. And then about 3 weeks later, she made some sort of comment. I'm like, what? Did you just say boyfriend? She's like, oh, you can't tell? It's like, no, I don't know anything. I can't. I don't know. I thought
she was setting boundaries.
I thought,
and she was testing the waters.
Yeah.
Clearly, it didn't take her long if it was only a couple of weeks later.
Come on.
She was calling you her boyfriend.
Take this. Yeah, were you going to leave this out on the market for long?
True enough.
Yeah, so that was July 12th, 1980. Songs were Sailing by Christopher Cross.
You have your whole playlist that you played this morning.
I have. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm a music guy. Music's my favorite art form.
Okay, I'm just cluing in now. Is that perhaps why you hesitated to do a second playlist for our campfire songs? Because you love doing playlists and you love putting little clips together. So, but I felt there was hesitancy when I suggested a campfire playlist. And then we went on the air and you played your other one. And now it's just, I'm kind of cluing into the fact that, okay, maybe because you already had the first one, you didn't want to do the second one. Am I right?
Not really. It just seemed like a lot of work at the time.
All right. Fair enough.
But then it's a labor of love. So we have like how many iPods have you had in your...
None.
The existence of the 20 years? None. I probably had 4.
Okay.
And because of iTunes, I just save all the songs.
Yes.
And so it's the same songs for a campfire since my children were born. Mm-hmm. I joked about how this playlist I'm putting together now is the first one since 1988.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
May very well be true.
I believe it.
It's the same songs. I'll just add a couple more. But I've never
There's nothing current on that list.
No, there are some. I just didn't play them for you.
Oh, well,
all right, well then
here
hang
I thought
on.
they were all 88 and older.
No.
Well, okay, Jonas Brothers has to be on there.
Yeah, they're on there. The
okay,
Joe Bros are on there.
I got that.
So just let me run through this here. Now,
Ed Sheeran.
169 songs, 12 hours and 7 minutes. But
Which is
when
awesome.
I originally did it, you know how it started? This is how old technology is, cassette. So it started on cassette.
Taping songs.
Right. And then it became digital. I would burn CDs on my computer.
Of course, yes.
And each CD would have about 15 songs on, and I would make 6 CDs. So I could have 90 songs.
There you go.
And they would have Looking for Moose was one of my CDs. Campfire Hits. And it's like trailer tracks. Like I had names. It's moronic, right? And then, but it was the same songs, roughly. So for me to look at this and say, okay, I'm not going to put that song on. Like, how could that song not be on? It's been on it forever. So let me just go to. I hate how it's alphabetical. I hate the new world. So artists. So I got Backstreet Boys on here, Bee Gees, Bread, of course, Carly Simon, The Cars, Cat Stevens, Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now.
Of
Krista
course.
Berg, Crowded House, Dan Fogelberg. Well, there's like the wheelhouse right there, those three. Del Amitri, Dire Straits, Don Henley, Donald Fagen, The Eagles, Ed Sheeran, ELO, a lot of that. Eric Carmen, Fleetwood Mac. We're up to the G's now. H's are Hollies, Howard Jones, James Taylor, John Denver, Jonas Brothers, Kenny Loggins, Little River Band. So you get a feel for it. But there's the new stuff I like, but it's just loaded with One Direction, one song. Passenger, Paul Young, Phil Collins, Richard Marx, Split Ends, Steely Dan, Taylor Swift, Train, The Weeknd. Yeah, 169 songs.
Wow.
And I think the rule is, if I can't sing along to it, I don't want it around a campfire.
Do you sing, though, when you're listening to...
No. But if I can't, I don't want to. I don't want it. It's got to be one that Cass slips up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, and then she comes back, and I'm quiet. As quiet as I can be. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not quiet, but I'm not singing. Because I don't sing. Like you asked about, do I bring my guitar?
Yeah, I figured you did.
No, I don't.
I really thought you'd take your guitar and try to play along with them. If not, just play on your own.
No, never. It's never happened and will never happen.
All right.
I've told
I was
you.
shocked.
Failed singer-songwriter. The height of my career was working with you. That's it. I can't touch it, so I don't try it anymore. Wow. I don't play it.
I'm sorry.
That's it. What? I don't
this
apologize.
Is the height. Yeah. Well, no, I can picture you guys sitting around the campfire singing those songs. And yes, you're right. Thank you to everybody who did share their favorites too.
Filled
the hip was a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. But again, for the same reason, like Wheat Kings, Bob Cajun.
But Canadian in general, there were a lot of Canadian acts mentioned.
Yep.
Like Patio Lanterns, another song thrown in there. I said Spirit of the West. Although your campfire might be the one I go to early.
Yeah.
And then go back to mine to just chill out.
If you were to say...
If you're playing Spirit of the West, it's a little more bouncy.
If you make it to midnight and say, let's put on Spirit of the West. Nobody's going to bed.
The park ranger will be coming around saying, you need to shut it down.
Let's quiet that down a little bit. You know how when that happens and you see the ranger truck going around, people are like, oh, shut your music down. I've never had that feeling. They're going to come over and say, sir.
Are you guys awake?
You guys are out of control. Stop it with all of that soft rock hits of the 70s.
I think it was my brother-in-law. He's going to, I shouldn't tell this story. He got a ticket for talking too loud.
At a provincial park?
Provincial park.
They nailed him?
It wasn't the music. He wasn't being overly rambunctious. Right. He was just talking loudly. He is a loud talker. Okay,
but surely they gave him a warning he ignored.
He might have, yes. But he kept talking, and then he ended up getting a ticket. But it's funny that you get a ticket for talking. I'm sure he got a warning. I'm sure he did. But that's how he talks.
Oh,
and
I'd be a jailed third offender. How many times have we got to warn you? Campsite,
those were the days.
212.
I think I've told you that was probably the best summer.
They are the best days.
Working at a provincial park, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
My daughter worked at Presqu'île, and I don't know. Maybe she would still say it was the best summer of her life.
It was amazing.
And it was about the right time. How old were you? 20? She was 19 or 20.
19.
I'm pretty sure 21, maybe.
19 turning 20. It was great. Yeah. It was amazing.
Absolutely loved it. She was so light because she would work the lawnmower that they would have to put a rock on the seat because she wasn't heavy enough to have the connection to make the battery work to start the lawnmower.
She is very tiny.
Yeah,
I will say best shape of my life. And it was funny along those same lines. I love doing the weed eating, like the weed whacking. I get the weed trimmer out and cut grass. And there was an older couple who was with us maybe a few weeks of the summer. They were there for a long time, enough that the staff got to know them and they got to know us a little bit.
Right.
And they actually complained to the warden because they would see me out cutting grass and doing the weed trimming. And the boy that I would quite often work shift with was in the gatehouse taking reservations. They're like, that poor girl, she needs a break. Why is she out here doing all this manual labor and he's in there sitting on his butt? Meanwhile, I chose that. I'd much rather be doing that. Yeah, but they were disgusted. They were horrified. They felt so bad for me. They're like, oh, you poor girl. I'm like, I actually kind of like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Please
fun.
don't say anything. Don't make me go in and talk to people on the phone. Don't make me.
Little did I know how much of that I had coming. So it's good that I was outside at that time. And then, I get to talk to everybody now.
Don't need to start adulting now.
No.
Thanks for that, everybody, this morning. Also, we talked about this great thing that came out. It tends to come out in the summertime every year, and that's the top 25 small cities in Canada, which to me is a real misnomer because the cutoff date is 200,000 people population
they looked
and
at
less.
Areas under 200,000.
I can't, we could sit here and name the ones I think are over. There's not a lot. We're not like the United States, or Russia or Britain that has loads of people in every state. There's, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, but Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Ottawa, Hamilton, Halifax. I bet you that Quebec City is probably over 200,000. I'd have to look that up.
But you thought the number one on this list was over 200.
And
it's not even over 100,000.
Not even over 100. So it's the top 25 under, and 10 of the 25 are in Ontario.
Right here in Ontario, within driving distance, most of them. St. Catharines ranked right at number 25.
Yep.
Aurora, Thunder Bay, Barrie, Milton, Guelph, Burlington, and Waterloo all made the list. Niagara Falls was number 4, and I would say so. Niagara Falls proper.
I don't find Niagara Falls a pretty city. It's got to be fair.
Niagara Falls, the Falls area, I find very pretty. But yes, you're right. Outside of that,
not a lot going on other than the falls. It's all tourist.
True. At number 3, though, Kingston.
Yes.
And I do agree with that one. That's the highest ranking Ontario small city on this list. And Kingston is beautiful and has so much to offer because it's not just the aesthetic, not just a pretty looking city, but it takes into consideration the 6 categories: place, product, people, programming, prosperity, and promotion, the 6 Ps. So weather, traffic, healthcare, restaurants and shopping, employment rates, income equality, household income, ownership, home ownership, that's a big one, and airport connectivity. So how close are you to an airport?
Yeah.
So it takes in all those things when ranking them. In Kingston, number 3 on the entire list.
Impressive.
And the top one here in Ontario. And I would agree with that.
Stratford was just that one city I thought would be in there, but then when you hear the criteria, the basic, because the stuff I look at now, there's great places to retire. That's why it's I keep looking at those lists, and Stratford's always number 1. But stuff like connectivity to airports and all that stuff. No, of course.
But I would think too. I didn't see Port Hope, and to me, Port Hope's very pretty, and even this,
and it's close by. Cobourg, for example.
Exactly, Cobourg, Port Hope, much like Belleville and Trenton. I would think we would, and maybe we were 26. Didn't quite make the 25 top cities, but this area certainly, I would say, would be one of the best small cities.
I was surprised to see Milton.
Exactly, when you hear Milton
Toronto,
on there.
It's close to the airport, but that airport doesn't work. So that doesn't count. If you count Pearson as a working airport, it doesn't work. It's a terrible airport
and we've
right
seen
now.
that.
It's the worst reputation around the world.
Especially recently, yeah. It's awful.
Well, Milton's going to drop off.
Yeah, and Thunder Bay.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word.
Exactly.
Thunder Bay is good.
Barrie, I would agree with. Barrie's a great city. There's a lot to offer in Barrie, and it's growing exponentially.
Close to Georgian Bay, too.
Yeah, you've got so much up there around you, too. The number 1 city overall, though, and this is where we both question the actual population, was Victoria.
Victoria, BC, yeah.
Victoria, BC was the number 1 best small
if you had told
city
me that
in Canada.
750,000 people live in Victoria, I'd say, name them, first of all. But I'd say, okay, I believe you. Because I don't know. But I was surprised to find out there are only 90,000 people.
Yeah, 94,890.
Geographical
Victoria
area.
proper, yes, is what that's what I mean about the Niagara Falls. The main Niagara Falls area perhaps is better than the area around it.
Yeah.
But Victoria proper, they say, is the best small city, which is just over 90,000.
And if you wonder what proper means, like, for example, when we started doing all of these municipalities, here in radio, they count Belleville, Trenton, and Prince Edward County as our central market. That's what they call it, which is about 125,000 people. So there are some organizations that will look at our area as being 125,000 people for marketing purposes, maybe not for taxes and municipalities. So in a place like this, when they say proper, we're not including what people
Belleville
would
proper
consider.
would be just Belleville.
Yeah, like if you were to live 10 miles outside of Victoria in a small neighborhood community that doesn't really have a name, you're still in Victoria, they didn't count that. So it's just, but I think that's pretty impressive. All those P's are placement. Promotion's an interesting one to me. So, because that shows another P, and that is pride.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're promoting your community as a great place to raise a family, buy a house, set up a business, educate your kids, and enjoy your free time in the free space for the parks and the St. Lawrence River and everything that Kingston's got, absolutely. That's a big one. You're proud
But
of
have
where
we
you
not
live.
seen a lot of that in this area, especially lately? That's what I mean. I'm surprised that the Quinte area, whether it be Belleville, Trenton, even the county on their own, wasn't in the top 25 because there just seems to be a lot around here lately.
Yeah.
A lot of buzz, a lot of things coming, a lot of good things happening.
Okay, so then we need to start a campaign to
Okay.
get Milton off this list. Oh, you know what? St. Catharines, get out of
Exactly.
here. Okay, St. Catharines, you're done.
Even Niagara Falls.
Yeah, well, that's number 4.
Well,
it's gonna be tough to move them up.
We can do it, Mark.
But number 20. Let's start with the
number
easy
25.
ones, the light ones.
True enough. St. Catharines. Okay.
Okay, St. Catharines, you're out. We're not going to do any good stories anymore about St. Catharines until
done.
we're on the list, because that's really the deciding factor, is whether people in your radio stations and podcasts say nice things about you. Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
We will do that.
100%.
Coming up tomorrow, Empire Rock Fest starts on Thursday. And so our Throwback Thursday has that in mind. We'll be unveiling our songs for you to vote on at 8 in the morning, and then we'll unveil it before the workday begins at 9. We're going to have some fun with that because Mark Rashad does not even tolerate cloud cover.
No.
There will be no bad weather during Rockfest. Never has been, never will be. And if the long-range forecast is any indication, he's batting 1,000. It's perfect. So we'll have some fun with that coming up tomorrow morning.
Also coming up tomorrow, it's Camp Day. Tim Hortons Camp Day, a nationwide event that I enjoy being part of. I don't want to say we, because I don't want to speak for you. I know you go out to these events too, and you do have fun with them. I love Camp Day. I don't know. I just love it. So that's happening tomorrow.
McDonald's.
And McHappy Day.
Yeah,
yes.
McHappy Day. I don't know. There's just something about Tim Hortons that I find very intimidating because they're so good.
There's a lot of pressure.
And it's fast.
Like McHappy Day, yeah. I'd say it's more maybe fun. There's pressure associated to Camp Day.
Yeah.
You can't mess around with Tim Hortons.
We say this all the time, and I will say it again on the podcast. I don't care what it is that you're doing and having a bad day when you go through a drive-through. You want a different perspective on how you should treat people when you're buying through a drive-through? Go do it for an hour.
Yes.
So go do Camp Day. Ask them.
Yeah.
Like it's coming up like next year, say a week before I work in this business and I would like to see whatever, blah. Go do it. You'll change your tune at a drive-through. You'll change your tune in any restaurant. If you go in and work it for an hour,
they're rock stars. They really are rock stars. What they do, we get back there and act like goofballs and totally gunk up the works. There's no question about it. I love it, but they have to deal with a lot.
and so sometimes you got a coffee and they forgot to put milk in, and you think, oh my gosh. With everything that they have to do, I'm shocked they get anything right, let alone get 99 of 100 things right. Yeah, so
because there's always those people too, and you know who you are, who go through the drive-through and order 10 different things, and I hate you for doing that. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah.
I hate it. I drive. So for them to have to do that, and it's timed. I don't know if you ever noticed that they keep a timer
and they smile.
Yep. And they have so much time, or they're supposed to have so much time to get everything done, and they work their butts off to get them out the window.
And if they're late, you know whose fault it is? Yours, driver.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have your money ready or you're juggling stuff. Yeah, so.
I love him dearly, but I hate how my husband orders in a drive-through.
Really?
I do. Because he orders the drinks first. And if you order any sort of food, and I don't like ordering a lot of food, but if you order any sort of food, you order that first. So then they can start getting it ready, and then you order the drinks.
Didn't know that. That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Did you do this
It's a thing
before?
in my world. But no, because for instance, if I get a bagel
Yeah.
and I ask for it toasted or I want butter.
Toasted bagel,
If I
extra butter.
ask for that first, it goes up on the screen. So whoever's doing it can see it and start working on it. And then I will ask for the coffees because that's the easy part.
Holy smokes.
So they get started on the bagel. So they have time. And then the coffees come and they do that.
Gosh.
So
All these things I never think of.
Look at you looking at me. I'm not crazy.
I was
honestly.
Today day old when I realized that.
You order the food first.
And then
anything that needs preparate, like an amount of,
right.
Order that first so they can start. And then.
See, I just ordered 2 donuts and a bag and something hot. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
Just put whatever you want in the bag and I'll pay for it and take it.
Yeah.
But part of the proceeds from coffee.
Bunch of stuff. And then they'll have games, and then they'll have
other
donation
stuff
buckets. And
it's all to send kids for camp.
Camp day. And there are a number of them across Canada and the United States. So it's all a great cause, and it's going to be a big show tomorrow. So get up good and early.
Especially when Mark's there.
It's, I think I'm going to be there, aren't I?
Are you going?
I think I'm going to be there.
Okay.
I'm not sure. We got podcasts to do.
So much to do.
And there is an age cutoff.
No, there's not. No, there is not. They love it when you come. I just stand there and make coffees.
I still find that very intimidating. I don't know. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Join us tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM in Belleville. Have yourself a fabulous day and watch for those possible storms.